Hey y'all, here are my two favorite ways to make scrunchies. The first one's the easiest one, the second one looks better. Choose your poison. For these projects, we'll need some yarn, a crochet hook or two, some scissors, and a tapestry needle. Oh yeah, and elastics, of course. For the easy version of the scrunchie, grab your 3.75mm crochet hook and some size 4 yarn and make a slip knot. Then grab your elastic and place your hook. Wait a second, let's get closer. That's better. Place your hook inside of the elastic and pull your working yarn up through the middle of the elastic and then through the current loop on your hook, making a little slip stitch. Chain 1, which will secure your yarn around your elastic, and then it's time to single crochet around. That is, around your elastic. I feel like I'm saying elastic a lot. But insert your hook into the elastic and pull up a loop around it, and then pull through both loops on your hook. Let's do that again because this part was kind of hard for me to get. You insert your hook into the elastic, pull up a loop with your working yarn, and then pull through both loops on your hook. See how it's kind of wrapping around your hair ties? Aha! I found another word for elastic. Anyways, continue making single crochets all the way around, but here's the trick. You are going to fit as many single crochets on this little tiny ass hair tie as you possibly can by squishing them all together routinely throughout the process of putting them in place. Like I used a 1.5 inch wide elastic and I put 75 single crochet on that baby. The more you fit, the rufflier your end product is going to be, and we all like a good ruffle. Now I'm thinking about chips. Anyways, this will get kind of difficult toward the end. You're going to have to squish it back like every 3 or 4 stitches, but persist on, my queens, because it will be worth it in the end. And here's what mine looked like when I was finished with round 1. See how you pull it apart and you can't see a lot of that elastic? That's what we want. So now find the first single crochet that you made and slip stitch into it. It might be a little hard to find, so you might have to like pull things apart a bit. And then chain 3 to start row 2. And what we're going to do is double crochet right again in the single crochet at the base of your chain. This counts as 2 double crochet because you are going to make 2 double crochet in every single one of those little single crochet around. Yeah, all like 75 billion or whatever. I ended up with 150 double crochet, and at first it will look a little bit weird, but once you get a few inches in, you're going to start to see the ruffles evolve. This is clearly the highlight of my week because I am a boring lady who just sits inside and crafts. And I know that a lot of people would put in like music while you watch me create the whole row, but I gotta be honest with y'all, I don't really want to edit in a bunch of music and research what's copyright free and blah blah blah. So I'm just gonna talk instead because this step takes really long. So now is my perfect chance to ask you guys if there's any other tutorials that you would like to see because I am running out of ideas. Anyway, I'm cutting out the last 30 seconds of this because I know if I'm bored, you're probably way more bored. So let's meet back when you finish the round. Oh my God, there she is. And she kind of looks like a scrunchie, but we have one more thing to do, which is to slip stitch into that starting stitch. I forgot the word. The starting chain 3, and then chain 3 again and put 1 double crochet in each stitch around. And I feel like you guys are getting the point, so I am just going to skip to the end on this one too. I think you can imagine the process of me just doing double crochets over and over and over and over again until my fingers fall off. Oh, also, if you want the scrunchie a little bit shorter, you can replace this step with just single crochets all the way around instead. I don't know, it's up to your personal preference. And then once you've magically finished that round in record time, slip stitch to the top of your starting chain 3. Chain 1 more and then cut off your yarn tail and pull it through to secure. Geez, I am not fast in this video, am I? Anyways, there we go. Now you're technically finished, but you do have to weave in your ends. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules, except I totally 100% do. I make all the rules. And speaking of rules, a good rule for this one is weave in your ends up and down instead of side to side, and then stretch it out as you weave, just to make sure that the ends aren't tightening up one specific area of your scrunchie. No one wants a scrunch. Wait a second. Anyways, do the same thing for your starting tail, but just be sure not to pull it through any of the single crochets on round 1, or it'll get all weird and bunched up when you pull your elastic. And this is what it looks like when it's all finished. It looks awesome, just like by itself or on your wrist or on a water bottle. Does anybody else put scrunchies on their water bottle? Let me know in the comments. That might just be me. Anywho, let's start option number 2. I used a size 5 yarn and a size 6.5 needle, and I started by making a slip knot. Again, I know, groundbreaking. And now make a chain. The longer the chain, the wider your finished product will be. I went with a chain 14, and you'll be able to see kind of what mine looks like at the end and then decide if I went overboard or not. I happen to like really big scrunchies, but I've also made one that looked really good with 11 chains. Now, take the tail end of your chain and thread it through your elastic, and then grab your hook, god damn it. I'm leaving that in so you guys all know how dumb I am. And yarn over and then place a double crochet into that first chain that you started with. This one was kind of awkward for me to do, which is why I'm doing it at like a glacial pace. I am truly not trying to show you guys how to do a double crochet. It just took me forever. And then place one double crochet in every single one of your chains around. You should finish out this row with 14 double crochet. And keep in mind, the whole time your elastic is caught in the center of your round. So you're kind of rotating your project as you go and pulling it through that elastic. Now, when you finish that round, no slip stitch, no nothing. You just immediately keep on double crocheting onto the next round. And honestly, there's no real benefit to tracking where your round starts with this project, because by the time you get to the end, both you and the project have forgotten which was the stitch you started in, and it truly, deeply, madly does not matter. And that is the entire process of this type of scrunchie. You just double crochet around for like the rest of your natural born life. Now, I know you're thinking, Helena, you told me that this was the harder one when we got started. Yes, I did. And that's because the more rows you get, the harder it is going to be to pull this through your elastic. You want to do enough rows that your elastic is completely covered when you stretch it out as far as you can. And one thing that can really help with this is to untangle the yarn tail that you started with and go ahead and weave this one in right now, because it will just get more and more tangled the farther you get along. And like I said with the last scrunchie, be super careful how you weave this one in, and keep pulling on your project when you weave so that it doesn't cinch one side of your project without you realizing it. Continue on in double crochet, and eventually you will have to pull through about once every half a round just to make sure that your project doesn't get all twisted up in the elastic. So this will take like 3 times as long as the first option, but once it gets to this point where you can stretch your elastic out and have it completely covered, tie off your yarn with an extra long tail and thread it up to sew the first row to the last row. You can do this however you want, but I like sewing it back and forth crisscross style along the bars of the first and last row of double crochets. I don't know what this is called, but I call it the fucked up mattress stitch, because a mattress stitch is very exacting, and I'm sure you have gathered not a very exacting person, so this is as close as I can get, and it works really well for me. Also, yes, I do know I should have picked a lighter color to do a tutorial with, but I looked at this color and I went, pretty, and that's the whole thought process that went into it. Anyways, then weave in your ends just like you have all the others, and you, my dear, have a perfect, pretty little princess of a scrunchie ready to wear ASAP. And I actually like this version best because I think it looks the most like a scrunchie that you would buy in the store, but both versions have their benefits, and they both look good on a little bun in my very, very unwashed hair. Here's me being awkward on camera. Okay, that's it. Have a nice day. Bye.